All right, welcome back. So what we have in front of us is two store-bought Phalaenopsis. I just left the store and I was like, these things are beautiful. I've got to have them. One has kind of a wanky spike, if you can look at that, see how it's all wanky. That goes with them moving the light direction during the growth process. But that's not what this is about. So we always wonder, should I repot my orchid when I bring it home? So I have two examples here. One I'm not going to repot, the other one I am, and I'm going to explain to you why. So what I'll do is let me move the camera down just a wee bit so we can see what's going on. So this one here, let me take it out of the pot real quick and move it to the side. So this one here, if you look, nice root system. She will get watered here shortly, but nice root system, right? And she's fairly secure in the pot. Blooms look good. Her leaves look good. So this one is not going to need repotting. I'll wait and repot her once the blooms have spent. And the media doesn't smell all that bad, so we'll move her out of the way because she is not the subject of our video today. So today, oh, and I love these little cups that come with this. Like, this is all the water that your Phalaenopsis needs in a week. Anyway, we've been there, done that. So this one, I am going to repot. Will I lose some of these buds? More than likely, these smaller ones here. These here that are almost ready to open will probably go ahead and open. But that's okay. I know I like her. I know she's pretty. So if I do end up losing the bloom sooner than normal, I'm okay with that because she needs a repot. Now, she has nice roots in here. The way they spiked her, they have this leaf all wanky up here, but the most important thing is, do you see how wobbly she is in this pot? That means any new roots are possibly going to break, or she can actually break roots that are already in there. So I'm going to go ahead and we are going to repot her. So let me pause this, reset it up a little bit different so you can see down here what's going on, and then we'll continue. Okay, so we have everything set up. I've got the hydrogen peroxide. I've got my fiskars that have been sterilized. We've got our Osmocote 6-month fertilizer pellets. I've got my mix already ready. What I'm going to mix her in is large bark and small bark mixture with some perlite that was already in the bowl and left that in there. And I've got the cinnamon at the ready just in case. And this is just cooking cinnamon. You can get it at the grocery store. It's good for healing up wounds. I've got a pot that I'm going to put her in. It's the same pot that she's in now. It's just clean. So, and I put some rocks at the bottom. I've started putting rocks at the bottom with my Phals just to help with the drainage so that water doesn't sit here. It'll help it drain through, as well as there are rocks in the bottom of here to help raise the pot up some so that it is sitting a little bit above the rim to allow that airflow. So move that back out of the way until we're ready for it. Let's see. I'm going to leave the spike staked for now. Let's squeeze the pot and get everything out of here. I don't think I really need to because she is rather wobbly in here. So we'll do that. And then again, always grab at the base, never grab at the top. And then we're just going to slowly pour this out. Okay, there we go. Oh, and this media is going over bad. Look at this. Looks like dirt. All right, so, and she's still got her peat moss plug in here, so I am going to hold it by the stem for a minute while I rest her down. Get most of this off here that we can get. So, and she was potted a little bit deep in the pot as well and kind of grew out. So again, let me just tear it in half. So we got that half off, and then we'll take this half here off. Maybe it broke in pieces, but take all that off. And she's got a pretty decent root system under here. I will have to cut some of these, but not too many. She's got, I'm not sure. I think, yep, that one's bad. And then we'll trim that one off. Let's see. All right. And the reason I'm leaving the stake in here for now is to kind of help me with the flower spike itself. So even though this here is nice and healthy looking, the vellum in here has come off. So let me take that off and see. Yeah, and then the root itself is green to a certain point, but most of it is brown. So we're just going to cut this one, this bottom part of this one off. Let's see, what else are we going to do here? Yep. All right, so let's put that right there. And then we'll slide that down. All right, so let me lay her down so we can start trimming at these roots real quick. And I'll go ahead and take the spike off. Okay. Yep, I might want to move that out the way. And the clips, these are my favorite clips that come with the orchids, the ones with the bigger holes instead of those lighter green ones, because they're a little too snug. I like these because they allow space so that, especially when you're trying to train a new spike coming up, it helps with that. All right, so going to trim that one because he's all brown and yucky looking. And that one just came right off in my hand. Let's see. Trim the bottom of that one. So, and as with most of our store-bought Phalaenopsis, they're not consistent with their watering, and when they do water, they tend to overwater them. So a lot of your roots are going to spoil or rot. Get as much of this off, and then we have another one here. So, okay. All right, so I'm going to finish cutting all the roots off that need to be cut, and then go ahead and get her all cleaned up, spray her with her hydrogen peroxide, and then we'll be back. All right, so she is all cleaned up and ready to be potted. So we are going to put her back in the same size pot in theory. So let's just see here. And let's twist. You know, I think her root system is too big now to put back in the pot, because then she'll be too high again. So luckily, let's lay this down. I do have another pot that I was going to use for something else, a little bit bigger. So we'll just put those rocks at the bottom there. And let's just shake some of that out. And we'll put a little bit of media at the bottom as well. Oh, there's a broken root. Okay, so apparently we broke a root. All right, so let's try this again in the bigger pot. But it's going to be the same principle. What I was telling you guys, or was going to tell you guys, is you just take and you just kind of twist and kind of move her around a little bit. And then she'll sit in there. And again, I like to start low so that I can pull her up and get the media in between all these roots and everything. Because you don't, I mean, they don't mind air pockets, but you don't want a lot. You want some, but you don't want a lot. So let's start putting it in. And let's shake it up a little bit. And then just use your finger to kind of move it where you want it. Okay. And then shake it and use your finger. So there we go. And then you just keep doing that all the way around, making sure that you're getting media all in between those roots in the middle, as well as on the sides. And like I said, you don't want a lot of air pockets. Phalaenopsis don't mind some air pockets. They are epiphytic, so you know that means they grow in the air, and their natural habitat, they grow on trees. So, but in our home, well, it's a little different environment, so we want to kind of give them the best success we can. So let's just move that and keep kind of doing that. And then I'm going to, sitting on a rock there, let's go ahead and stake her up again. This time though, I'm going to move the flower spike back just a wee bit, so that, making sure I'm not hitting a root, so that she's not crushing those leaves that she was earlier. Let's see, this way, look at it that way. Here's my clip. And I always clip with the spike kind of, or the claws away from the spike, more on the stick itself, because this way it helps keeping it from puncturing into your spike at all. So we actually only just need that one clip. They had it with two. I find she only needs the one. So let me just kind of wiggle this around a little bit, make sure that I do have media in between the roots in the middle, and then I'm still going to pat as well. Kind of do both. And then let's just kind of hold that stake so it doesn't move all over the place. And we'll just keep filling her around until we get what we want. And the thing with Phalaenopsis is you don't want to bury the crown or the stem into the pot, because then you will get crown rot and your orchid will go downhill if you don't catch it in time. It is possible to save a Phalaenopsis that has crown rot. It's not ideal. It's not the best. And it's kind of a hard thing to do. 90% of the time you're going to lose your orchid. So just best to avoid that to begin with. All right, so I have my media on the height that I like. Put some more on this side to even it out. And then I will give her a nice water, and I will set her in an east-facing window in the living room so that she can continue working on opening the blooms. And hopefully these blooms that she has are a little more uniform than the ones that are on there now, because the ones she has on there now, they're just going in so many different directions. I am pressing down just a little bit. It looks like I'm pressing hard, but I'm not. It's a gentle push. And let's just check the outside for air pockets, and we are good to go. And then, as always, I've left some of the root kind of exposed right here. You can't see, well, maybe you can. There we go. Right there, just to keep an eye on it. And again, as with any new repots, if I see those roots that are already in there, if I can tell that something's not right, then I will go ahead and unpot her, look at her, cut off any of the dead roots that are in there. But that is when you would repot a Phalaenopsis that you just bring home from the store, is if she's wobbly or she's got a bunch of dead roots inside the pot, which hopefully you would see before you purchase and not purchase that one unless the rest of it just speaks to you. And if you have any tips on store-bought Phalaenopsis or any of that, go ahead and leave it in the comments down below. And as always, make sure to leave your growing environment so that those of us who may want to take your advice and try those tips, you set us up for success. Because if you grow in a greenhouse and I am in the living room and I take one of your tips, it might not work simply because we don't have the same growing conditions. So with that, I hope you guys have a great day. Make sure you give the video a like, and we will see you on the next one.